Okay. We started the stream back up. I'm going to hopefully... Do you want to pull it up on your phone? And then we can double check and see if it's good. Change the bit rate. If any of you guys know how to run a live stream, please help me out. Because I don't know what the fuck I'm doing.
Drop it in the chat.
How is the mouth?
It's great.
Mouth is good? Everything's good?
Pull
it up on your phone, and then we can double check and see if it's good.
We're good.
Cool.
We're good.
Change
the bit rate.
Bring us back in, and then we'll get Josh going.
All right, welcome back again. CeleTake podcast.
Episode 1.2.
Back again with Josh after our commercial break. So you said Dom and Fritz was looking?
I think he was looking really good. I caught myself saying, "Oh my Dom" a couple times.
Oh my! I love that shit.
Oh my Dom.
Oh my Dom.
Hey, it said it on the back of his jersey, so I was like, I'm gonna use it to my advantage.
Is that what that stands for?
I think so. It says "O-M Dom." So I was like, "Hey, oh my Dom." Hey, it does now.
Can I tell you? I love that.
Hey, if he hits a 3, I'm calling it every time. But Fritz too, I like the way he played. Good defense. Like you said, I feel like he's a glue player as well. He showed tenacity, a lot of dog in him. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's how I feel about those two. I mean, I think they complement each other really good, and I think I have my eyes on Dom. He's really good.
Yeah,
Dom's gonna Dom. Dom's gonna Dom.
Yeah, Dom's got Dom.
The thing that you have to do as a coach is blending those two offensive focal points together.
Mm-hmm.
Because again, you have two guys that can really like go off at any minute with like Fritz and Dom, but you also don't want to see them play the ball would gravitate all the way to one side, and like Dom's in the corner and Fritz is on the wing, and it's just like everybody else is trying to do something. That's why having Dallas able to move and cut and create some of those baskets, good hustle plays too. Gene. Also, shout out Gene Ballister, played great for you guys. Yeah, you guys have a lot of good players. You drafted well. Good job.
Thank you.
Way to go.
Thank you.
You too, Ghost.
Going back to the Ghost Riders though, for them they had Axel and Chan combined.
Chaxel.
12 points and 14 rebounds.
I don't have a graphic for that.
Channel.
You said between both of them?
Between both of them.
Oh wow.
How many
okay.
rebounds?
14.
Yeah, so they were dominating the paint.
They were basically DeAndre Jordan if they put each other on each other's shoulders.
Exactly.
So they're pretty good.
6 of those was offensive rebounds too.
Oh wow.
So do you think that's like a big key for the Ghost Riders for them to be successful?
100%. And if you don't have Trayvon, who's going to be your biggest guy on the court, and you're still winning the rebound battle, that's huge. That's fucking huge.
Gives you more chances to score on offense, so yeah, that's going to be a really good implementation there. If they could get all three of them to freaking play that good, that hard, all like throughout these whole games, that's going to be
shout out Chaxel.
I think the big thing that we're seeing, or that we at least saw with the scrimmages, is Axel playing how he normally plays in pickup. And maybe because it was just a scrimmage, but I think him being with Ghost, he's going to feel more comfortable in his role. Notoriously, Axel is a phenomenal rebounder, can finish well, but during the season, he's never shown that. And I think that this is going to be a big year for Axel to probably... I mean, he's definitely going to up his draft value, but I think that he's going to be a guy that... I'm not going to say an all-star caliber, but he's going to be a solidified starting 5 player on any team next season with the way that he plays, in my opinion.
You're going to see the improvement?
100%. I think you already did.
Yeah.
He seemed more confident. He understands his role on the team better. He feels more comfortable. He's not injured for once. So I think we're going to get a very good version of Axel this season. And I think that if Chan can play the way he did Sunday, and in season 3, I think we're going to see a very nice little tandem there, and they could be a big force in their conference.
Ooh.
The big force. So. The big force.
That's their tandem.
Yeah, the braids.
The Chaxel.
The new braids.
Yeah. The Chaxel.
Yeah.
Right.
I love that.
I like them.
Yeah.
Game two. We had the Makos versus the Goblins. Back second time Captain Luke going up against a returning captain, Dean.
The Mean Green Dean.
Another tie. Back-to-back ties for our league. We had Juan, the number 1 pick, first time in the season, with 14 points, shooting 6 for 12. Mike, how did the number 1 pick look to you?
It's hard to tell because he got his hand injured so early in the game. The shots that we've seen him hit in tryouts and we saw him hit in pickup multiple times that I play with him, he wasn't hitting. and they looked like bad shots because he wasn't hitting. But because it was Juan, we knew that they weren't bad shots, so it was kind of acceptable. But it shows that their team's pretty deep. If they're able to still hang in there with a Mako's team that's one of the more talented teams in the league. Now, I think the Mako's played very bad, but they hung in there with them, and Juan was hurt 90% of that game. So I think the Goblins had a pretty good showing. I think the Mako's, I can't say the Mako's. Yusuf played so bad that he took down the Mako's single-handedly, and he was the Goblins' best player because he just...
He's a double agent.
He did, yeah. It's like, are you confused about the colors, Yusuf?
5 for 14.
He just chucked up so many shots when he has Shot Doc, who's the best three-point shooter in the league. Shot Doc had 0 points. That should not happen. You have X, who is another phenomenal shooter, who barely got to shoot the ball unless it was off of an offensive rebound.
Oh.
Those things cannot happen.
No.
They need to get the ball.
But you did
QDZ,
have 5 assists, though.
because 1v1 got had 18 points.
Yeah, that's
Yusuf forced a lot. 14 attempts, and how many does Shot Doc have?
2.
Exactly.
That's bad.
You take 4 of those attempts away, they win that game. If he takes 10 attempts and Shot Doc takes 6, I guarantee you, since he only takes 3s, he's going to hit at least 2 of those, and they win that game. To me, Yusuf killed them, and it was a bad game for the Makos and a good game for the Goblins.
I couldn't. 100%.
And you
100%.
said earlier in the other podcast that it was going to be between him and who else to bring up the ball?
Joel, 1v1 guy.
Yeah.
1v1
So
guy.
now, how does that play in your perspective? Like, who do you think should get the ball at that point?
I've always said Yusuf shouldn't bring the ball up. It's not a matter of should he or shouldn't he. Is he or isn't he?
Right.
Because
Okay.
when he's on the court, he does his own thing. He goes rogue. He plays at his own pace. He plays his own game. He bing-bongs it from half court.
Right.
Bing bang.
Like, this is a game that he's playing on his own,
Right.
and it's a matter of will Luke take him out, and will Yusuf calm himself down enough and corral himself, or will he get pissed out? I know at the end of that game, Luke tried to sub him out, and he did not come out of the game. So we're looking at situations where it's scrimmages and you're already doing that stuff. What are we going to do? Now, I will give Yusuf credit. He was more quiet. He was less vocal of bitching and like being Yusuf, but apparently he was drunk.
He was.
According to Josh.
That's what he said. He came over and said something about. I was like, it's like 10 o'clock. What are you talking
It was a
about?
big day. You got to get drunk for it.
There was all I can say about
Yeah,
Yusuf's
it's
game
media day,
on
I guess.
on Sunday. A lot of bing, no bong.
No bong.
A lot of bing, no bong. Yeah.
I really wish that I would have got the picture from Media Day of
I hope he's cursing us
Joel
right
and
now.
Yusuf, like
Holding the ball.
holding the
like
ball,
that.
one arm each. It's phenomenal. It's a phenomenal picture. I'll put it.
But,
I'll show it later.
So, piggybacking on that, even though the game was tied, and we say maybe Yusuf lost in the game if he maybe take 4 less shots, they did him in a 1v1 guy. They did combine for 30 points of 33. Are we saying they're the best offensive duo right now in the league?
I think it's early.
Too early.
It's too early, and Yusuf's gonna Yusuf.
Based off what we know, though.
You have Dom and Fritz.
You have Dom Fritz.
Dom and Fritz is. Oh, okay.
You have
Hold up.
Santi
Thank you.
Braylon.
Yeah.
You
I
have the two.
I don't know how
I will
that
get
didn't
to them later
I don't
because
know
I
how that didn't
have a
put my
whole
head
fucking
first.
thing. You
Yeah.
have Santi
Yeah.
and Braylon.
Santi who shot only 5 shots and went 3 for 5.
Yeah,
like,
finished with 11.
Come on, man.
He's a fucking.
I think Braylon shot over 50% too. Like,
Yeah,
come on, man.
Yeah,
So
you have a lot of. What's really fun is you have these like dynamic duos a lot in the league right now. Like you have your guys where you're like, I want to see this work. I want to see this work. I want to see this work. So it'll be something. That'll be a fun award. The dynamic duo award.
Oh my god. The Batman and Robin.
Batman and Batman award.
Batman.
Shout out Batman.
Batman and J Ball Award.
Oh my
Batman and J
god.
Balls. My J Ball star. It's my
All
boy.
right, let's move on to the third game, the Magician and the Reapers.
I'm sorry anybody had to watch that game.
At least we got to win, though. We got to
Yeah.
win. We got to win.
Yeah, I wish nobody won that game. I wish everyone got shed.
I think that was the first game where there was a loser, and that was the fans.
Everyone should have been sent to the Shadow Realm. There were so many things that happened that game where just you're shaking your head.
A lot of turnovers.
A lot of turnovers.
Are you
sloppy
worried about
play.
the Magicians?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Magicians are already giving me Bandito vibes, which is bad. Josh, for reference, the Bandits last season lost every preseason game, lost every regular season game,
Oh, wow.
Lost every playoff game.
Oh man.
No, play in. They didn't even make it to the playoffs.
That's right,
They
sorry.
lost the
Wow.
first ever play-in game.
I think
Wow.
this team could be as talented. Like, that fucking Bandits team was
But
so
you have to
fucking
take
good.
into account, it's a 10-game season.
Right.
A fucking blind squirrel can find a nut.
Mm.
You know, like, they can win a game. They can win a game.
I think they can win a game.
Single-handedly, it'll go... I can't say single-handedly. Chili's not losing every game. I can guarantee you. He plays way too hard to lose every single game. Phil is way too talented to lose every single game.
I agree.
And tough.
And Montel is going to do what he did at the end of the season where he just said, just give me the fucking ball, and then we score. And if he would have done that on Sunday, they would have won the fucking game. Because there's no reason why Montel did not have the ball more. Like, there's no reason why Montel did not have the ball.
I think
He should play point guard.
that
I don't agree with him playing point guard, but I think that he should have had the ball more.
he should not play point
He
guard. I
should
love you,
not play point
Montel.
guard.
You're not a point guard, but this is, again, it comes to you have a team that has the obvious size advantage in the Magicians, but no point guard. And then you have the Reapers, who their entire squad, besides Josiah Cha, who played well, is under like 6'3". If I am the Magicians, I am feeding the ball like one of the Phil Chill duo, one of Phil Chill or Montel, go post up. You have a mismatch. Somebody on you is probably going to be shorter than 5'10". Just make them foul you. But I could see multiple times in that game, the Magicians had the mismatch. Usually it was Montel. He had the mismatch in the post, and nobody threw him the ball. Nobody even looked in his direction.
Well, if you look at the stats, who had the second most shot attempts on their team?
Who was he?
Who had the second most assists?
No, who had the second most shot attempts on their team? Gator.
Oh, well, yeah, we knew that was
Gator's not the number 2 option. This gives me season 3 Gators vibes.
They had a total of
He
one.
drafted a team full of guys with no point guard, and he is putting himself as a higher priority after coming off a season where he didn't get as many shots. Season 2 wins a championship, doesn't take a lot of shots.
Plays great defense.
Yes, is the defensive player of the year, wins a championship, doesn't get a lot of shots. Season 3 becomes a captain again, drafts a team where he's the main guy and wins one game in the regular season, and then wins a playoff game against the Bandits then with no Braylon. Then season 4 drafts a good team, isn't the main scorer, is probably the 5th, like taking the 5th most shots once again, and now he's cycling back into a role where I'm taking 10 shots a game. Gator should not take 10 shots a game. Gator should not take 10 shots a game. When Montel is not taking that many.
Yeah.
It's different if Montel has the same amount of shots. Sure, you could be the third option offensively. I'm fine with that because Chili will rebound and do other things. I'm fine with Gator taking number 3. Gator shouldn't be that high over Montel. Montel is your clear number 2 offensive threat. That's a glaring issue early in the season that he can fix. He can fix that by saying, I'm going to take a step back, I'm going to move that ball one more time, and I'm going to find Phil or Montel and give them the shot because they're better than me.
How dare you?
One assist as a team.
As a team.
That's terrible.
They had a
That's
single assist?
Single assist.
Yeah.
I think that's a
As
league
team.
record.
That's
They
a-
had it. That has to be in Gator. Shout out Gator. Got that. Shout out Gator. That's the point.
I'm curious as to who he passed it to.
Wow.
Are we sure it wasn't like an air ball?
Off the back.
And then, no, an air ball, and then somebody catches it under the hoop,
No,
and then
like-
we counted it as an assist? No, that's just the
I
glaring
didn't do
problem.
that, so I don't know.
That's going to be the problem with
on the other
Magicians.
side. On the other side, the Reapers. They came out and they proved the, as the kids say nowadays, the naysayers. The naysayers wrong.
No, they didn't.
No, they didn't.
No, they proved us right. They have no offense. They scored 31 points. They proved us exactly right.
But the word around town, the nation, was that they were the worst team. I mean,
Well, we'll see what the
Magicians-
power rankings are now. We'll see what the people are saying now.
What are the people saying? What are the people saying?
We'll find out later on in this program. You let us know in the comments below what your power rankings are, 1 through 8, right now as it stands after Sunday. I'm curious. I'm looking at the comments as we go. I want to know your 1 through 8 before you get into our 1 through 8.
Do you have the Reapers over the Magicians? That's a good one. That's
You
a good
have
one.
to. They just beat them. Granted, it's not a glaring W, but they beat them. And the Reapers' saving grace is defense. And defense, if you watch enough football, can win championships. I don't know if it's going to really
Yeah.
carry over to basketball, but
I will give the Magicians one thing. Dom was
Horrible.
Maybe the worst ref I've ever seen.
And they also halfway through their game lost a ref with Braylon stepping off.
Yes.
That does impact the game. It does impact the game.
I think there were a ton of missed calls on their end of the court. I think when Mike Mitchell was going to the hoop, that very easily could have been a foul call as well.
Well, it wasn't hard enough, according to Dom.
No, not. That's not how fouls work.
Gotta foul harder.
Shout out Mike Mitchell. My wager. When does Mike Mitchell? When do they hit the panic button and they start starting him? No. When they start starting him, so he can't win a 6th Man of the Year.
Fritz wants to come off the bench just to win the 6th man.
That's so fun.
For you.
The fuck is wrong with that? What the fuck is wrong with you?
But he wants to do it out of spite for Mike Mitchell.
That's really funny.
He said, just put me in like 30 seconds.
That's so funny. I love that. You know what? Shout out Fritz.
Didn't prove nobody wrong then.
Nah.
I don't think so. They'll prove me wrong, or not me, us. We're all in this together.
Mm-hmm.
They'll prove the media wrong when they can score 70 points in a game. I'll feel good about that. When they can drop 70 in a game, I'll feel like, okay, I was wrong about their offense.
Well, to be honest with you, when I saw that matchup and when you were talking about it in the other podcast, how it's all the defensive team, you got 2 defensive players.
GPO wise, yep.
And so in my head I was like, okay, they might score often, but I saw a lot of miscommunication. I feel like that, and a lot of bad takes on transition. I feel like that might have played a role as well. So I do agree. I don't feel like the necessarily having an overall like defensive team is going to win you a championship. So I think the communication, maybe the coaching has to really play a role in this. So especially when you're playing with a lot of short guys on the team.
Yeah.
Me being short, but
over here, defense does not win championships.
No, it does.
It could. No, that's what I'm
wins
saying. It can,
championships.
but you have to score on
You
transition.
also have to score.
You have to turn the defense into offense. If you see notoriously what we've done as the Dogs, the Wolfpack, the Baby Blue, we've caused turnovers and scored off of those, and we've led the league. Obviously, I don't have his advanced stats, so I don't know the fast break, breakdown. But anybody that's watched our games knows that we've, by far, in the league, have the most fast break points off of turnovers. That's what we do. That's how you can turn defense into offense and win those games. The difference was last season we had 60 to 70 points a game, every single game, except for the one loss. And that was a horrible game on both sides, 44 to 41. One of the lowest scoring games until this. So you have to be able to put the ball.
They only got 30 minutes, Mike.
That's true. Yeah. Our game was horrible.
I want to put a prop for the season for the Reapers. The whole entire season. Over under 60 points.
Average?
No, a game. 60 points in a game, 1.5.
Oh, 60 points in one game?
No, 1.5 they have to get it 2. In
That's
2
62?
games, they have to get 60 in 2 games.
62. I'm going to go over. If you can't get 60 points in 10 games, 20% of the time,
60?
Sway's definitely...
Sway can give you 40.
Yeah, he did it 2 seasons ago.
Yeah, and he gave you 30 last season. Yeah. If Sway can give you half the points, and you need Sterling Shakespeare to hit 4 threes in a game...
Under.
He played well. Sterling played well.
I'm going to have to take the under on that one.
Sterling played well.
I'm going to give him the over. Reapers, you got 60 points twice. Come on now.
Can you say over, Parker?
No.
Ooh!
It was just so, like, I love you, Sauce, but you need to be any semblance of a threat on offense for this team to work. And
he doesn't want to do that.
No, he's very passive. They know he's not going to shoot, and he doesn't want to shoot. And then that means your guys on the wing can play Nick and Sway much closer because they know, hey, we can sag off you for a second. We'll just pressure the wings, and then you don't have that big man mismatch. Like Josiah, he showed he can stretch the floor. Great. If you're a big guy in this league, you're either so physically intimidatingly big, or you shoot threes well, or you do both, and your name's Parker Landis. But I'm retired. But you need to be able to space the floor, and I just don't. I don't see it. I don't see it. The only thing they had going for them was they ran into an even more mismanaged Magicians.
Yeah.
What about you, Josh?
From what I saw, I think I'm gonna go with the over. All they have to do really
half and half.
Well, if you think about it, all they really have to clean up is their offense. I feel like their defense is there. The coaching has to come in and be like, okay, so this is what the game plan is going to be, so we could produce more points. And like you said, Sway hit 40.
He had 40 in season 2, 42 in season 2, and then 30 last year.
So if they could hone in on their scoring, I feel like they could definitely do that, especially with the defense to complement it. So
the difference that you're looking at though, with last season with Sway, when he had the 30, he had
key components
4 other guys around him that the defense had to also key in on.
So who's a player right now that could help complement his game then?
There's not a single player on that team that is
I mean,
that is
you
going
have one on the bench.
No. That is going to take the number one offense or the number one defender away from Sweat. Sterling is a good shooter. You're going to put a guard that can guard the perimeter on him. Jacob Nolan is a good shooter. Guard that can guard the perimeter. You need your best defender on Sway because he can take you off the dribble and finish like probably very few. Honestly, I'll argue that Sway is the best finisher in the league.
Yeah.
I will give him that title. The way that he gets to his spot and makes it look so effortless, he's one of the best finishers now that Nacho's not in the league. I would say that he is probably the best finisher in the league. It's a matter of can he do that week in, week out against the best defender on each team, and that's my biggest question mark for them. There's not a single person that's taking that defender away from him. I'm not putting my best defender on Sterling. I'm putting my most disciplined defender on Sterling because he's a shooter. But your best and your discipline are two different
things, right?
Yeah.
All right. Now we got the game 4, last game of the scrimmages. The Dogs, your back-to-back-to-back champions versus your back-to-back losing.
Your back-to-back runner-ups.
Back-to-back runner-ups. La Familia.
That game was fun.
That game was fun. Yes, it was. Ended with a 43-41 win for the Dogs. We had Money Mitch.
Money Mitch.
Straight money on the court. 3 for 3 from downtown. Finished with 10 points, and then off the bench, I believe he came off.
Yeah, Gary.
Gary
Harris.
It's Gary, not Jerry.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's Gary. I thought it was Jerry. I had to ask
Gary
him.
Harris. Yes.
Gary Harris, not Orlando Magic Gary Harris.
He could be, the way he played.
Spelled differently.
That's true.
So, do you think the Dogs are still on top, Parker?
Yeah, they were missing Spank. You were missing your big guy. Mike picked him number 2 for a reason. You're missing Spank, and you still win that game. That's not to take anything away from La Familia. I think La Familia, on paper, you look at that team and you're like, this is an extremely talented team. And if I think they can if they put it together and everybody they move the ball well, which I believe Tone will implement some sort of game plan for each team. And out of all the coaches, other than you, Mike, I think Tone is maybe the best at analytically basketball understanding the game as far as a coach, because that's what he does. Extremely talented team, and the Dogs still win, even when some of your guys are not giving you the best minutes or pissing you off or not playing defense or not hitting their layups. But I think it's just that's Dogs basketball. They, having been a part of that last season, I understand, hey, once everybody gels and buys in, because remember, the preseason podcast, I said the biggest thing is going to be the Dogs buying in. If they buy in, they can win. If they don't, it gets a lot harder because you have teams like La Familia where you have 4 guys on that team that can just take over at any minute, maybe. I don't know. They're real fucking good.
Yeah, they're very
La
good.
Familia is really
Start
fucking
off
good.
that game pretty strong.
Braylon is a mismatch nightmare. He's a psycho. He's very good. Shout out Bray. Santi plays like the biggest player on the court while being one of the smallest players on the court. He's a freak athlete. He is such a great shooter, such a great scorer. Mike Parker, one of my standouts from the tryouts. Love that guy. It's hard not to favor them as far as like talent. You look at like 1 through 5, you're like, oh, how many of these matchups can they win? But again, Dogs played really good defense, and they were missing their big guy, Spank. Spank makes that game so much different. No offensive boards for La Familia. That kid is so athletic, he accidentally almost hit his head on the rim. On accident.
Oh, man.
On accident. So, you guys played well. I think, Mike, your big challenge is going to be having everybody, again, buy in, but also buy in on the right side of the ball. Buy in on the defensive end. Because you have guys, shout out AJ, love you. Sometimes you lag on defense because you're going for those steals. I get it. Does it work about 4 out of 10 times, yes. But the other 6 times, your defense is getting cooked. Kyson, I heard you were... Do you want to win a championship, Kyson? Because if you do...
Feels good when you do.
It feels good. Eric knows. If you want to win a championship, Kyson, you don't bitch about your minutes to anybody.
You played a lot.
And you played a lot, but understand your role as that energy, Pat Bev, defensive psycho. You couldn't be in a better position on Mike's team, who covets defense more than anybody else in the league. You can really fucking cement your thing into, hey, next year Mike's drafting, he's going to pick me because I fucking broke my back for this guy. I played great defense.
I'm number 2 for coveting defense because Sauce picked a team that can't score a bucket just so we could have defense.
I guess.
I care more about winning than defense, but I do care about defense a lot. But
Fair.
Go ahead.
Very fair. You guys just got to buy in. You got some great minutes from your guys. Mitch played fantastic.
That was the best I've ever seen him play.
It made me so
By
happy.
far.
When he and AJ hit each other in the air and Mitch fell over, sort of, it made me laugh so hard.
The pre-podcast.
Gary Harris.
You were excited for Pat Klein.
Oh, Pat Klein.
How do you look out there for you?
Well, Pat's nursing
hurt.
a knee injury
Yeah,
right now. I want this to be a bounce back year for Pat. He said his knee should be fine. Come tip off this weekend.
He was just very timid. I think that was the biggest thing for Pat. He didn't. No, I just think because of the injury, I think he didn't, and because he's in a new system with a new team, he didn't really feel comfortable in the role yet, and I think that's just going to take time. He's not the only guy in the league that you could clearly see was not as comfortable either last season or playing pickup or playing in other ways. There's some people that come in like Gary and seamless. The cameras, none of it faces them. They're good. Pat, I think that it took him a little bit longer. You see other guys that it takes them some time. They got to get their feet wet. They got to understand their role on the team. And once Pat feels that way, I'm sure that he'll have one of those games like he did with the Bandits last year, where he won his little moment too. So I got faith.
It'll
in
be
that.
there.
Yeah,
Pat, it'll be there. Keep shooting. Keep shooting.
But on the other end, La Familia. In a losing effort, we had Braylon and Santi combined for 26 points. I'm going to ask you this, Mike, because you faced him in the championship 2 times back-to-back. Do you think this is another roster for La Familia that's going to make another run to the championship game?
So they could.
Yeah.
They could. Anytime you have Braylon on a team, you have a chance to make a run. I think it's proven. And if Braylon was there season 3, completely different for the Bandits in the playoffs because they barely lost that game. But that game actually was very beneficial for Chief because that was his coming out party. I think that they have a chance to make it to the championship. They need, outside of their 4, they need other productivity. They need Horace to hit some shots. They need Tone to hit some shots. You can look at their stats. 4 guys scored. Mike Parker he played very well, took a few too many shots. When you're seeing the shot disparity, I believe he took the most shots on their team.
Mm-hmm.
And Santi took 5. I want Santi taking the second most shots behind Braylon. Or the most shots.
Yeah. He's extremely efficient.
Santi is the best shooter in the league. I know I said that about Shot Doc earlier. I forgot that Santi's now back in the league. Santi is a pure shooter. That man is athlete. Like, he is...
Shout out Hua.
He's very good. He needs to be the second most attempts on that team. John Kerry played great on both sides of the ball. It's a matter of what are you going to get from everybody else. They didn't have Patriolo, but we know last season he was very hit or miss for them. He's got to find his role. They're a guard-heavy team. So...
There you go, talking shit.
I'm letting them know. That's how I feel. They could make a championship run. They could win the whole entire thing. So could 6 other teams. I mean, that's just really what it is.
6?
We're playing with 8. Oh, we're playing with 8. My bad. We're playing with 8.
No. I meant...
We meant 6.
Maybe 4 other teams? 5 other teams, maybe?
I'll throw the Makos in my list. I'll throw the Makos in there. I think the Ghost Riders can... I think that they might combust because Vaughn gets really mad. A hint, so that Vaughn doesn't drop 30 on your team. If you foul him, he gets really upset, and when he gets upset, he plays horrible. So for any defender out there that's guarding Vaughn, get him mad. He plays like shit, and he wants to be in my ass. But Vaughn, I have a girlfriend. So just saying. Just saying. We know what you're doing, Vaughn. He's going to go to the right. He's going to throw it off the glass very hard and then run down really mad. I love you, Vaughn, but you're predictable.
All right. Now let's talk about some early MVP nominees from what we saw. Josh, anybody looked really good?
I just made fun of your favorite player.
Yeah, you just made fun of my favorite player. You know? It was funny because since I'm new to the league, I'm coming in here with zero bias. You know, so
yeah, it's great.
When I shook his hand, it was funny because he was like, "How many did I score?" I didn't have anything in front of me, and on live I said a fuck ton. I didn't know. I said, "Hey," and he started laughing. He said, "Hey, I love you, man." And I'm like, "Man, I'm not washing my hands." But I am really high on him. I really do like him. Honestly, it's between him and Vicente, how does he say his name? Juan number one draft him. I really liked him too. But 2K, there was something about him. I like the way he moves with the ball. He's fast. He can shoot. He plays with attitude. I like that personally.
I find it funny. I just like making fun of him.
I come from an MMA background. That's my sport that I like to cover, and I like those people with that tenacity. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like he has that. So I'm gonna go with him, and he showed me a lot. But let's see what the season entails. So. Hopefully he proves me right,
I'd like to see beginning of the season who's your favorite and by the end of the season.
Yeah, that's gonna be. We should.
No. I think we'll do some check-ins. We also funny enough. With your UFC background, we might have like your favorite punches of the season.
We should do that. We should do a segment.
It's so funny.
We should do a segment. Fight to the week.
Whoever punches somebody.
You will get kicked out.
You will get kicked out.
And then possibly brought back if we like you, but you will get kicked out.
And we will talk about it, and we'll rank our favorite punches.
Yes. Next time it's getting posted on social media.
Oh man. What about you?
No, I'm not picking MVP. No chance. No fucking chance.
A
preseason game.
Yeah, it's not about the game. It's about just making a bold prediction and pissing people off.
No,
that's what I care about.
I'm gonna piss more people off and say nobody. I'm gonna piss more people off and say nobody did anything where I was like, holy shit.
Dude, everyone's at home like,
everyone's like, son of a bitch. I thought he was gonna say me. I texted all of them. I said, hey, I'm picking you from MVP. No, I'm not picking anybody yet. You gotta gel with your team. You can score the most points in the league and win 0 games. You're not going to get MVP.
That's true.
Sorry.
But I think Dom's going to make a good case, though.
He was good, too.
We'll see.
He's on a really good team.
It depends on how the voting goes this time. Are we going to go for the best team, the player that led the best team? Probably not. We're probably going to go for the guy who scored a lot of points.
It also depends on how many emails Band Up Vaughn has.
Yeah, oh, my God.
Because he's going to win.
One email per player. I don't think it's that hard. One email address for voting. I'm gonna have to change something. One email address per player. We know who's not an all-star.
Come on, Juan.
He was an all-star. What the fuck are you talking
Fucking
about?
Band Up.
But you got anybody, Mike?
I'm looking. So okay, this is it. If I haven't won 3 championships in a row, I don't know this league better than anybody else. The Magicians go on a run, and Phil is the MVP. That's what I say. I say if a guy on a singular team stands out as a guy that could be an MVP, to me it's Phil, because everybody else has somebody else with them.
Well,
Dom has...
You might have to go Josue with the Reapers.
For sure, I don't have faith in the Reapers. I'm sorry, Reapers. I know Reaper Nation's in the comments. You guys stopped commenting. I don't know why. Are you offended? But... I personally, that's my really oddball. Throw Phil in there because I don't really see somebody else that's going to take away from him. But it's too hard to tell. Vaughn is Trayvon. I guess Juan you can make a case for because he doesn't really have that right hand man. Yusuf is not going to allow 1v1 God to win it. He'll just steal
Which is a shame. 1v1 played well.
I love 1v1.
I do too.
That's one of my favorite players to watch, my favorite guys in the league. He's a phenomenal person. Yusuf will steal the ball from him just so he can be an all-star. And I'm on a don't vote for Yusuf run right now. I think Santi is too good to have Braylon be the MVP because I feel like it's going to be too much of a two-man show. AJ gets snubbed every single time, so I'm not even going to put him in the conversation anymore. I guess Dom, if Fritz does what he's telling me he wants to do and take a back seat, sure, Dom could. And that's pretty much where you're at. I guess Dom and Phil.
No
Dom,
J-
Phil, Juan. No J-Ball.
No J-Ball.
You got Dom, Juan, Phil. Those are my 3. Because I like Sway, just to amuse you guys. Sway, Dom, Phil, and Juan.
And J-Ball.
Those
All
are
right,
my
how
4.
about this, Parker?
Yeah.
What about players that you saw last season didn't play as well as you know they should, that could possibly play way better and maybe even make a run for most improved?
I think we talked about it a little earlier. Mike talked about Axel. I think
Okay.
he could be up there. Shout out Big Bird.
I love Big Bird.
I love
that
Big Bird.
block he had was great.
Ridiculous.
Oh, yeah,
he
get
came
a
into
block,
work and he was like, "No, I had the game saving block," and I was like, "Well, not really." And he goes, "It
Let him
saved
have
something."
Say something.
It saved him. He didn't score, but that's okay. Dean could be prime in that list. He had a rough season. Pat could also be prime in that list. Mitch.
Yeah.
I think Money Mitch, if he can be that guy off the bench for you, I think it would be absolutely fantastic.
I mean, even Spank. Spank was hurt for four of the games.
Yeah, he missed half the season.
Yeah.
X had a rough. Yeah, you look at a lot of these redemption guys, and it's just like, is it their time of year? Is their shot falling? Are they contributing to wins?
X isn't gonna be able to, and it's nothing against X. It's just too much on that team.
Fair.
It's too much on that team. You have 5 guys that can
He's
score.
gonna get his. It's just not improve.
Hopefully,
Yeah.
He's gonna get his.
Yeah. He's gonna get his.
The new guys in the league really played well. The
Yeah.
new guys, the new news,
Mm-hmm.
they played really well. John Paul, loved his game. He came in, made an immediate impact on the Makos. Shout out John Paul. We have some mutual friends on Facebook. It's hilarious. Random assortment of assholes. Josiah Chaw, I talked about him. Gene, who we've known for years, played fantastic.
Dallas.
Played awesome. I'm just trying to rack my brain. Josiah Chaw played really well. Gary Harris played really well. It's we're growing.
Mm-hmm.
Our
Sport is growing.
every single year we see the player pool get bigger and better and better and better and better and better. So it's good.
I couldn't see any of this. They were commenting this whole time.
What'd they say?
Wow, there's a lot.
All right, guys, we'll go through the comments now because it hasn't been refreshing on my end. As you see, we have technical
You
difficulties.
don't want to talk about what?
Sway's got me. Thank you. Sway loves the Panther squad. Parker, you're such a legend.
I love
Trey.
you. Who said
what up,
that?
Trey?
Who said-
Sway.
Oh, Sway's
Our
my
dog.
fucking boy.
QDZ was the second best player on the Makos. Tone, I can't argue that. I mean, we know who their worst player was.
Who's cute?
Oh, Sway said
Cute,
Yusuf
cute.
was hungover, not drunk.
That's really
Same
funny.
thing.
He told us he was
Makes a
drunk.
difference. Makes a
He told us he was
He
drunk.
told
Sway.
us. Sway.
Quentin, wow, I just got on when you talk about Makos. Yes, we were talking about the Makos.
Hey,
Nah, they couldn't take
Q-tip.
the D. Big D.
Big,
Oh.
big
No point guard. I
Trey,
bet.
where's
I
that?
got to
Where's
lock
that?
in. Trey, I didn't really watch your game back that much, but I don't know.
He did make a 3. They called back. He did make a 3.
Well, that's frustrating, and I'm sorry because Dom was your ref. So, listen, I could be wrong about all this. Who am I? Who am I
You're
with
a
the guy
piece of shit.
that runs everything?
You blue piece of shit.
There's a lot of shit. God damn it. All right. Damn. Can we get some credit for the dub? LMAO Sway. You can't get credit. It was a terrible win. Reapers on top. Nick, you're delusional. You haven't won and you never won. You didn't win. Reapers. Okay, so Trey's saying it was an illegitimate
hating
win.
on us.
That's fine.
We're not
Sway,
hating.
they're hating on us. We are hating on
hating,
you.
Nick.
Mostly you, Nick, because you're a cheater.
Piece of shit. Hey, you got any bread from last season?
Oh my God! Somebody bring that man a loaf of bread, please. Sway, the game-winning free throw. Yeah, listen, Sway, we love you. All of this is against Nick. Sorry, let him hate sleep once. We gonna wake him up. Yeah, wake us up. Yeah. Get out of here.
Magician's on top.
There are a lot of back and forth between Nick and Trey. We're gonna cook the dogs. You're not gonna cook me. Only Asian people cook dogs. Am I allowed to say that on stream?
I don't think so.
Yeah, that's okay. Matt Hua is not in the league anymore.
Our last stream, guys.
Josiah is.
Josiah.
No offense, Josiah. That's against Matt Hua. Josiah, we love you. It was. We gonna cook the no worse than Eric. Mike is hating boy. Holy, come on, Mike. Face green, smiling. The hate for us is crazy. I love it. Oh, Tone. 1 dogs, 2 familiar, 3 goblins, 4 repeers, 5 everyone else is even.
Wow.
Wow.
Well, that's not true.
Ghost, us, that shit of fuel, Papa. Really, Tone? Use that shit as fuel, Papa. No hate, Ghost. Your team wasn't there. Can't have an opinion on your team. I'm excited to play your team on Sunday. I hope everyone is there. Me too. All love. You better hope they not. Ha 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 ha. We'll see how it goes, Ghost. Should be a good game. Hope everyone comes for you, to be honest.
We were just the league of the biggest assholes.
Nah,
you got
this
the
is
biggest
crazy.
assholes in Orlando.
LOL. I love it. Appreciate it. God damn it, guys. I'm trying to read them. You keep refreshing me. Tone, no hate, Ghost. It's kind of an advantage. Your team wasn't there. Ghost, it was definitely a gift to us, forcing us to fight. All right, we don't need this conversation. Jacob Noling, I'm coming next game. You better. You had a goose egg. You did not score a point. Gene, Ayo. Fair enough. He's coming next game. Ayo.
Ayo.
And then Ghost right after. That was the goal. Your goal was to make him come. Ayo. All right. 4 touches last game. Just wait. This is getting more and more sexual. Trap Boogie, we back. After seeing the scrimmages, I will definitely be there next season. Boogie, before the scrimmages, you should have been there next season. Why would you not be there? Definitely will, Tone. Really lost myself. Amazing here, Boogie. Boogie, we love you. Move the mic closer to Eric. QDZ as well. Could be in the conversation. True. All right, caught up.
That's so funny.
Caught up now.
Who said that?
No, I'm going to. Keep
Jesus Christ.
talking shit.
Bitch.
Keep them coming. Your favorite part's coming up.
I will.
The Parker Power Rankings.
Oh my God.
It's only new to me,
Media. It's going to be ranking us, every week, every 2
Nick,
weeks?
the
every 3
Reapers
weeks?
suck. Get out of here with Reapers on top.
You keep saying that?
You cheater.
Nick, how many times have you scored double digits this season?
Ooh,
Over
over
under.
Hello, over-under action?
1.5.
It's not looking good already.
Oh God. The Parker Power Rankings. We're getting this started. Hold up, I gotta find the blank screen.
Where's the blank screen?
It was in here. Okay,
There you
Parker
go.
Power Rankings.
All right, let's start
All right.
with number 8.
Number 8.
Parker, what
I
do
think
you got?
based on the scrimmage
Mm-hmm.
and their overall lack to play as a team, Magicians are 8. Also ranked 8 in the jersey rankings too. Bad jerseys.
Ooh. Ooh.
I disagree.
God damn.
Why does everyone disagree? It's true. 7. Shout out Nick. Shout out Sway. Love you to death. You're my dog. 7 Reaps. Read it and
Reap.
reap. Read it and reap. Reapers. Sauce, you just got to do something offensively, big guy. I need you to do something offensively. Everybody needs you to do it offensively.
You play the point guard.
6. Geckos. Makos. Sorry. The Makos. Will Luke be able to contain Yusuf? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. This is going to flame up in his face after Yusuf was upset in the draft. Ayo. Flame up like a herpy in his face. I'm telling you. He thought he was doing Yusuf a favor by drafting him. Little did he know, Luke just woke up in the worst wet dream possible.
Oh my God.
Yusuf's going to curse you by the end of the season. He's going to tell you fuck you, and he's going to not sub out. I love you 1v1. I'm sorry. 5. Ghost Riders. Shout out Ghost. Very good showing. A lot of fun players. A lot of guys I like on that team. Got some dogs. Ryan. Shout out Ryan. Shout out Ghost. Also a dog. Ghost played really well. I think that's a team. Again, I think from 5 to 1 are like your playoff guys where you got to watch. Where you're like, okay, they can knock somebody out in a single game elimination. Absolutely. Absolutely. 4. Eric. Purple Panthers.
Purple Panthers.
Your thing is going to be coaching, being able to blend those offensive guys. If you can do that, even stagger their minutes a little bit, that will be huge for you. But shout out. You played really well. Drafted a really good team. A lot of fun guys to watch. 3. The Green Dean Goblins. Goblin some balls. Just getting in there. Goblin boards. Goblin balls. They're a good team. They're a really good team. I think they're big. They're huge.
Tone had the same top 3 as you.
Did he? Well,
The Redeemed team.
I know. The Redeem team. Love it.
Redeemed team.
2. La Familia. To La Familia. I think they're that good. They're that good. And you have Braylon on your team, you're making a conference final. You have Santi on your team, you're making a conference final. Both times Tone had the final, right? He had Santi the first time. Did he have Braylon on his team? No, never mind.
That's okay.
You have Braylon anyway, so who cares?
Yeah. He's fine. He's
a fucking baller. One dogs. Easy.
Champs.
Yeah. They're defending champs. Nobody showed anything that I saw that they could knock them off their game. They were also missing Spank, their big guy. Shout out, Spank. Love you.
Comments is going crazy.
Nick
is going crazy. Nick
says
he should be 3 or between 3 and 5. They're Reapers.
All right, so we have some opinions.
Let's hear them.
That was a good joke, Nick.
Wow, that's crazy from Nick. Trey, they on your ass. Nick, I almost had a triple-double, though, frowny face.
Who?
You had a triple single.
What was that, a triple-double?
What were his stats, Nick?
Nick, you had a quadruple single.
Let's find this out.
Trey said, hey, yo, what the fuck, number 8. Yeah. Nick said, how you put us at 7 if we were one of 2 teams that won, though? Question mark. Because,
Nick, it was
That's wild.
Nick, I wanted to carve my eyes out watching your basketball game.
Ghost said, not bad to the Ghost Riders. Nick said, bro, look at the numbers. We should be 3 to 5. Sauce, Kristen Robinson. Crazy how the worst offense held another team to worst offensive numbers. Well, that's why they were 8. It's almost like the defense did what it set out to do. You only need one more point than the other team to win. And that's exactly what you did. Y'all be sleeping on your boy for real. I'm coming for all y'all. Quentin, we all said you're good. It's not you. It's Yusuf. Bias much. No. We've won 3 times in a row, Nick. It's not bias.
He was on one of your teams.
It's rigged. It's rigged.
And then Tone said, I should be on 2, to be honest. Have to beat the dogs first. Yeah, I agree. I think it's pretty accurate. I don't exactly agree with my power rankings, but it's the alliteration Parker power rankings. It's not Mike power rankings. Plus, I'm in the league. He's not. So, what do you want to do?
What are you going to do? Nothing. You're going to sit there and listen to me.
I would put the Panthers over the Goblins.
Yeah, but you're on the Panthers.
I would switch the Goblins with the Ghost Riders.
If I could put myself at 0, I would put myself up there.
And I would switch the Reapers with the Magicians.
Oh! He's putting you at number 8, Nick. Fuck you. Fuck you. How do you feel about his power ranking? Josh, where do you put the Reapers? This is really unbiased. Hasn't played for our team.
What you saw,
doesn't know any of you guys.
Saw one game for
with the magician, in between Magicians and the Reapers.
Yeah. No. In general, try to give a general listing.
Oh man,
you're on the spot.
You're on the spot.
The worst out there, too.
We don't have. You don't have to go through all 8 teams.
Yeah,
give us.
I think the worst.
A bottom team and give us a top team.
The worst. I think I would have to. Man.
You can say it.
Because
It's okay. It's okay.
Bottom and top.
The thing is.
Tops and bottoms.
The thing is, I think what distinguishes it is the coaching and if they could score off of their defensive turnovers. But if you can't do that, it's going to be a rough season. Mm-hmm. The Magicians, on the other hand, they got big players, but they need to find, who's going to, be that role player, that person who's going to, dictate the pace of the game for them. And like you said, there was mismatches that were not
exploited.
Exactly. Yeah. So if I feel like that is a little bit easier, you know what I'm saying, to patch up or to fix. So I feel like Reapers, I would have to agree with you then.
The Reapers, right? Yeah.
And I'm like literally new. I'm super new. I don't even know what happened. Like,
you're a piece of shit. You don't know anything.
But then again, it's a.
The Reapers at the
but then again, it's a scrimmage game. So
yeah, it's a scrimmage.
My opinion is gonna matter. My decision will be more solidified. I think after week 1.
Yeah, at week 5, we gotta get you back.
Week 5. Yeah, you're right. It's gonna be even more solidified by then.
Yeah, I would hope we have.
Yeah. Who looked the best out there too? If you didn't know, the dogs were. Back.
Well, he knows that because if you saw his notes were very extensive.
Yeah. So I'm gonna go with the dogs, obviously, because they
But they
won.
look the best out there, or are you just saying because of what you know?
I think they look well. If you look back at the scrimmage game, La Familia started off very hot. Mm-hmm. Okay,
extremely hot.
And I was like, wow, okay, so they're out here to prove something, And then y'all came back and won. So I mean. I'm gonna have to go with the dogs at that point because I
Weather
feel like the
storm?
coaching was good. The adjustments were good too. You guys adjusted literally mid game, and started making shots. Money Mitch, man. But
so
yeah,
happy
I'm
for
gonna
Mitch.
go. I'm gonna go with the dogs for now because that's
I've
what I
never seen
saw.
Mitch be so animated before.
But at number 2, I do
Yeah.
have La Familia. That's definitely top 2 right
And
there.
then-
And I really like the way they played. La
Yeah.
Familia. It was awesome. I mean, I saw Pickens dunk the ball, and I think I lost my mind. And it wasn't even that explosive. It was just like an easy dunk for him, and I was like telling people to clear out the paint.
A little thing from Big Bird just texted me. Goblins beating the dogs this weekend.
Whoa!
What's the money line on that one?
Big Bird doesn't even know what sport we're playing.
Does he know what team he's on?
No
Does Kyson
chance.
know what team he's
Why,
on?
you ask him next week. You see if Kyson knows his team. I'll read through the
All right.
comments now. Hold up before you
Yeah,
get into
yeah.
it. Boogie, the rivalry between Tone and Mike is really great to see because of how competitive they are. And their teams are greatly balanced, but Mike has executed 3 times in a row, which says a lot. Thank you, Boogie. It does say that, dogs. Nick, nah, y'all crazy. LMO. Quentin, you're just talking. LOL. Quentin, we love you.
Lamo.
Nick, triple-double season and winning it all. I hope you have a triple-double season. There's only been one triple-double in league history by Donnie McLovin, so I would love to see somebody else do it. Oh, my God. You love hating on Eric. Remember this now. You'll see. Tony, yeah, it's on me to have coached a little better in the championship games. I will play better this season for sure. Trey, this podcast is going to cause chaos for game 1. That's the point. Yeah, that's the point. It's to have fun. Nick says, get Eric off the podcast. Sorry, team. Nick, it's his podcast. It's just my apartment.
It's just my.
Tonio doing us dirty, man. I agree. Dogs won. Thank you, Sauce.
He agrees with me, Nick.
Not familiar,
Not
too.
being biased.
I don't think we proved none yet, but still ain't that bad. 3-6. Nobody has proved anything. It was a scrimmage game, which was 30 minutes with no halftime. One of them was 30 minutes. The other ones were 25 minutes with no
I
halftime.
can't give it to the Reapers because you guys won by 2 and Montel played.
No, they won by 1.
We won by 1 and Montel played garbage.
He didn't get the ball.
He didn't get the ball. So I'm like, that's an extra 10, 12 points that got left off the board.
It's hard to judge the teams.
Yeah.
We just have to judge as the media because it's our job. It's our job to piss you guys off and get you guys talking.
all
Because
part of
now
the game
on
plan.
Sunday, you're going to come in and say how much you hate the league. And then you're still going to have fun. So that's the whole point of it.
We're going to have a great time.
It's a little
And
motivation.
Kyle, I will not say that on
A little
Twitter.
motivation,
Yeah.
yeah. Let's prove these people
Prove me
wrong.
wrong. Prove me wrong.
Fuck you, Big Bird.
Go out there, Reapers, and make it to the
I
championship.
mean, that's what they say, right? You're only as good as your last game.
That's
Yeah.
true.
So,
And for some of them, it was their first game.
exactly.
For some of them, it might be their last.
That's true. Yusuf.
You've been expelled from the league.
Right.
Can you imagine?
He has been. One time.
Yeah,
Let's talk about some predictions for week 1.
I can pull up these.
Yeah. Who's playing?
Our first game, we got the Panthers versus the Reapers.
All right. Sex Panthers.
Now we see why I've been talking my shit.
Panthers and the Reapers.
Sex Panth.
Dom versus Sway.
Dom
Dom versus Sway. Dog versus dog.
Dog versus dog.
Nick versus his favorite ref.
That's true. Nick, you got to guard Eric. So I think that you guys have a lot of weapons offensively. You have Dom, you have Fritz, Dallas played phenomenal, and Gene. And then yourself as a role player as well. I think that, and Uno actually played very good too. I think that you guys have a very well-rounded team. I think you have the edge over the Reapers. I think the Reapers are going to play a hard defensive game. I don't think that defensively Dom's size is going to be an issue, especially, I hope he's on the stream, because he put on a couple of LBs. I think that Dom's size is going to be an issue for Sway or Nick because they are undersized defenders as is. Dom's pushing 200 pounds. I think that he's going to be able to... He's going to do what he did week 1 last year to Nick, where he nutmegged him, and then he hit the tough move around Johnny Victor and Nick Choi. He's going to do the same thing. I think that he's going to have a field day. I'm going to go Panthers.
Keep your legs closed, Nick. Pause.
I agree. I'm going to go Panthers. I like what I saw from the scrimmage.
Sex Pants. Sex Pants.
You know, Dom was really good. Corbin, awesome. I mean, I think he played phenomenal. And, you know, you guys seemed a lot put together, offensively sound. So I'm going to go with you guys. Yeah, that's my pick.
You can't pick.
Yeah.
I was going to say Reapers, but I can't pick. Go ahead, Parker.
For what? I picked Panthers.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Oh,
I said the
clean
Sex
sweep.
Panthers.
Clean
Yeah,
sweep.
go ahead.
Clean sweep. Ooh, okay. Game 2. Oh, actually, I got a prop for this game. We got Dom. Over or under 21.5 points.
Under.
Under. Yeah, 1 under.
21.5 over.
Over?
Dom will just go fucking unconscious. We've seen him do it.
I'm gonna be safe and go under because I.
We've seen
Yeah,
him
but
go
if he proves me wrong, I'll be like,
I just
oh,
think
shit,
that he
man.
has too many other weapons on this team. I think he's going to run into a similar issue as last year with the Dogs, where he's not going to be called to do as much unless in certain circumstances. I don't think this is a circumstance where he's going to have to take over the game that much. I think I have to go under on that.
Under. All right, Pod's going under on the 21.5 on Dom.
What's up with all the sports betting? It's terrible for men our age.
Is it?
Yeah, it's one of the biggest, like,
Oh.
depression-causing things.
Don't worry,
Makes
we
me
don't have
happy.
money on it.
Yeah, we don't have money.
Well, a lot of us don't have money, but we don't have money on this.
Fair. All right, what's the next game?
All right, next game. We got the Ghost Riders versus the La Familia.
So
That's a fun game.
That's a fun game.
That's a fun game.
Game of the week.
Love that game. Based on my power rankings, based on matchups, La Familia.
La Familia.
It's a lot of question marks because we haven't seen Trayvon, and I think that's the biggest question mark for me. From what I've heard from the Spark Note version of Trayvon's game, he plays both sides of the ball. What I do know is Vaughn does not. So, who's matching up with Santi? I'm assuming Trayvon's going to match up because he's a larger guy with Braylon.
Mm-hmm.
Does Mike Parker shoot the ball better? And is there somebody that could stop Santi? I think regardless, Braylon's still going to get double-digit points. He's kind of like LeBron James in this kind of situation where you're never going to see a game where Braylon gets less than 10 points. I'm going to go with La Familia simply for the fact that Tone is very experienced, and with Braylon and Santi, I think they pull it out. I think the Ghost Riders play a very good game. I think that there's probably going to be some pivotal mistakes, some outbursts. But I wouldn't be surprised if the Ghost Riders won. I would put money, if I had, on La Familia.
I think it's going to be a very close game. And I'm going to shock everyone here, but I'm going to go with the Riders, the Ghost Riders.
Riding with the Riders.
Yeah. 2K, you better prove me right, man. No, I'm just kidding.
He's your biggest fan, Vaughn.
Yeah, I mean they're missing a player that you said they could play both sides of the ball. That obviously is going to make a difference. And what I saw from La Familia is that they started kind of to fade away towards the end of the game. I don't know if that's how they're gonna. I mean, that could just be just because it's a scrimmage game. But yeah, I like the Reapers and I liked what they showed that day. So I'm gonna go with the Ghost Riders.
To your point that they faded away. I don't necessarily know if they fade away. It's what my team does notoriously well is play the end of the game well.
Right.
And that's how we seal games. So I
So
don't
it was
know.
more like the matchup that probably
Yes, that definitely
threw
could
them off.
show them looking in a bad light in the last few minutes. But that's
Right.
notoriously those matchups, except for last season's championship, have notoriously gone like that, where they've been close and they've had leads a couple of times, and at the end is when we pull away. And sometimes it becomes a blowout. Sometimes it's a very close game until the wire.
And I think it's gonna be a very close game, but I think Ghosts take it.
I like that.
Ghosts.
Yeah, Ghost Riders.
Yep.
That's fun.
I'll go
Fun
La
pick.
Familia.
La Family.
Yeah, you can't doubt Santi and Braylon.
Yep.
One of the nice duos. All right, our third game. We got the Makos and the Magicians. Where you got, Josh?
Makos. Yeah, I got Makos winning that 1v1 god. Really good. I don't know what I could say about Yusuf. I'm hearing a lot of conflicting stuff, and so I don't know.
There's no denying Yusuf is a fantastic basketball player. He's so great. The crazy shit he does, only Yusuf could do. The thing is, the beautiful thing about Yusuf, his biggest advantage is playing like Yusuf. But also his biggest disadvantage is playing like Yusuf.
So you can have
it's a double-edged sword.
It's a double-edged sword.
It's double-edged. Yeah.
I still haven't taken it though.
All right.
Just
sure.
from what I see.
Makos?
I got the Magicians coming out and surprising everybody, especially after the scrimmages.
They're going to move up in the power ranking if they do that.
Oh.
Is that how it works, Pete Parker?
That's how it works.
I don't know. We'll see because it's my segment.
I'm just saying, if they beat the Makos, they got to move up. Makos got to move down.
I think the Magicians win this week. I think they do. They have great size, great athleticism. I hope they take what we said here and they use it as a I don't know, propel themselves, boost themselves. I think they can win this game.
I think they can win this game, but I would go with the Makos. I think, bless you,
Thank you.
Their advantage of size is no longer. Shot Doc is a large individual. QDZ is a large individual. 1v1 God is a bigger guard. He's not small. Yusuf's a scrappy guy.
John there too.
Who?
Paraffin.
Yeah, John Paul.
Yeah, John. Yeah, JPP.
That's my guy.
They got a good team. It's will Yusuf stop being Yusuf?
No.
Just for a little bit. Just be use for a little bit and leave the F for another day. And I think that is the determining factor is can Yusuf corral himself? Can Luke be a captain to take Yusuf and take him out of the game because you have 5 other guys that can play and can win you the game. You have X, which name we didn't even mention. Like, you don't need Yusuf in the game if he's going to act like that. If he's going to play in the system, move the ball, take good shots, Yusuf is an asset. If he's going to take bad shots, bench him, kick him out of the gym, and tell him, leave. Get the fuck out of here. And then you'll win the game. Simply. That's it. My picks and Makos.
So I think we got 3 magicians and 1 Mako. Oh, 2 Mako.
No. Two and two or split.
Yeah.
Split house.
All right. Game 4, last game of the week. We got the Goblins, who was actually I found out from the commentary that Dean was actually the only captain to ever beat Mike in a championship game.
In Celly games.
In the Celly games.
Yeah.
Celly game?
In the Celly games.
We'll take it as we can.
Oh, for sure. He can take it. That's a big one for him.
But yeah, who we got? The Goblins or the Dogs?
The Dogs.
The Dogs.
Yeah.
The Dogs.
I like the Goblins a lot. I think they're
You think it'll be a close game?
top 4, top 3 team. I hope it's a close game. I think it will be. I mean, you have the number 1 pick Juan.
Mm-hmm.
You have a lot of size on the Goblins that can match up with Spank. It's just going to be about execution at that point, and what Dean draws up, how he can draw it up, and if he's able to hit his outside shots. Again, it's going to be a lot of floor spacing. Hopefully Dean can hit his shots this season. So, but I do have the Dogs. I think when it comes down to it, having these experiences of winning, having these championship pedigrees, being able to put a team together. Again, some of the Dogs didn't play necessarily well to begin the game, but they finished the game really well. Shout out Chef. You're having trouble early in the game, but then turn that back around at the end of the game. Hit some very clutch buckets. AJ, just stay locked in on the defensive end. Kyson, you too. Mitch, keep hitting your shit. Dogs. Yeah.
Dogs.
100% for the 3-point line, by the way, Money Mitch.
Yeah.
Good for him.
He is money. Yeah, I'm gonna go to Dogs. I'm gonna go to Dogs.
yeah.
What about you, Josh?
I'm going to go Dogs, too.
Go Dogs, too?
Because, yeah, I mean, defending champs, I mean, come on.
Yeah, you can't.
Dogs.
Goblins.
Dogs.
Anything in the chat?
They're talking. Trey had a good point that Yusuf should come off the bench. And you let 1v1 God lead the starting unit, and you have Yusuf off the bench. I agree with Trey. I think it's a really good point.
But will Yusuf accept that role?
No.
If he does, he could play well, though. If he
Literally
takes
right
that
on
role, he could probably play
cue.
well.
Right on cue, Tone. I don't think Yusuf is the kind of guy willing to make that sacrifice to come off the bench. I agree. I don't think he is either. I mean, if you watch the draft, you know that because he wasn't a first round pick, he threw a hissy fit.
Yeah.
There's no chance he comes off the bench.
Yeah,
But I mean, I don't know why. If he does come off the bench, he could be that unsung hero. You know what I'm saying? If he plays well off the bench
If he comes
like
off the
that.
bench, Mike
That's
Mitchell
what I'm
doesn't win
saying.
Sixth Man of the
Mike
Year.
Mitchell
Then we don't have to change the
shivering
name of the
somewhere.
award. Then it could just be the Sixth Man of the Year award. It doesn't have to be the Mike Mitchell Sixth Man of the Year award.
Don't say that.
We got it out for you, Mike. The league has it out for you.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. I mean, we got. And give me Reapers over Panthers, La Familia over Ghost Riders, Magicians over Makos, Goblins over Dogs.
Reapers over Panthers. God, man.
Well, he has to say that. He's the GM of the Reapers.
That's true.
is he?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Well, according to the Instagram,
According to the Instagram.
and that's why.
And the video.
That would be the Achilles heel from Mako's win-lose column. I agree, Boogie. I agree with you entirely. Yeah, I think Ant has 3 of the 4 predictions incorrect.
Yeah, for sure. Especially that first one.
Yeah. It'll be interesting to see. Only time will tell on Sunday.
Only time will
Hey,
tell.
tip off. Hope everybody's ready.
3 more days. 4 more days.
One more day. Whatever it is. We're right
Whatever
there.
it is.
Anybody else in the comments got anything to add before we call it a day?
Say your piece now.
Say your
Forever
piece
hold your
now.
peace.
I think it's smart, but I agree. But not everybody is unselfish and willing to take that role. Yes, we get it. Yusuf, he's a nut. I'm gonna give you 30 more seconds, but I'm gonna give you 10 seconds. I'm gonna keep refreshing it. Panthers might be the worst team.
Whoa.
That's Ant. Panthers might be the worst team.
I think he's saying that because of what happened with the pink team, the Heartbreak Kids.
I mean, he has to.
Because
Say
it
that.
looks good on paper.
Oh, because of Dom. Because of Dom.
It looks good on paper. Come on, Ant. I'm learning from you.
You don't want to learn from that season. Take Ant last season. Ant did a good job last year. But season 3, Ant, not his best showing. Sorry, Panthers, Nick. Peace. Thanks, Ghost. All right, well, it seems like it. I'll refresh it one more time for all the haters.
Looks like that's the end of our...
What's up, guys? Jordan, you're coming in too late, my friend. We're finishing up.
We finally got a Panther in the chat.
Gene's been in there.
Oh, he was?
He's been in there.
All right.
He's been quiet.
Kyle King
been
keeps calling me because the Hawks just beat the Magic.
Nobody gives a fuck, Kyle King. We're talking about CeleNation, the real league.
Yeah, fuck you, Kyle.
Probably had money on it, too.
No, he didn't. But he is a degenerate gambler.
And that's why we don't gamble.
Yeah. You want to end up like Kyle King?
You want to be a big
You want to
bird?
be a big bird?
All right.
You big fucking
All
beat.
right. That's the end of our first...
Same time next week?
Same time next week. I guess we're going to be doing these lives now.
Hell yeah.
No more editing.
No more editing.
Appreciate it.